2020 presented us with a lot of time for some self-reflection and some time to read. I probably read more last year than I had done before. Today, I'm going to give you a bit of a rundown on the books that I read and my thoughts on them. If you hear something you like, drop me one of these bad boys below and let's get started. The first book we're going to talk about is Get Control of Sugar Now. Now, cakes are made of lots of processed sugar. The body doesn't like processed sugar so much, turns that into fat. Lots of fat can lead to massive health implications. The solution? Cut out processed sugar. Sounds simple. I started reading the book at the start of 2020 when New Year's resolutions were at a high. The book gives simple, clear instructions on how to cut your cravings and how to try and eliminate sugar, or processed sugar, from your diet. There's even a mind programming option where you can put an audio CD on before you sleep. Think of the episode of Friends when Chandler tries to quit smoking. It's that kind of thing. Although I can't vouch for how well this worked, mainly because I was asleep. I must buy more McKenna books. However, if you can stick to the guidance that's in the book on a day-to-day basis, this book really will help. I think my simple problem was I read the book, finished it, put it back on the shelf. I needed to make it into a sustainable habit. But it still helped, it was good. So next, it's The School of Life. And this one claims to teach you everything you were never taught in school, which for me is probably quite a lot. The book gives pointers on how to understand yourself, what makes us act and behave the way we do, how to understand the complexities of relationships, not just romantic relationships, but relationships with your friends, family, your co-colleagues. The book approaches life with the view that everyone is broken, everyone has problems, and life probably isn't always as good as we wanted it to be. But with that in mind, it's to seize the opportunities when they come, make the most out of what you've got, and try to be happy whenever you can, and how to turn bad situations, spin them so they're positive. The School of Life was really good at opening my mind. I've never really sort of read a book and kind of sat there and thought, oh, okay, I get that now. For example, you may know someone that always keeps talking and never shuts up as a chatterbox. That could be because maybe somewhere deep down they can't deal with the silence. That if they aren't talking for more than 30 seconds, they might start digging something out from the past that they're trying to avoid. Things of that nature. I'm not saying if you talk too much, somewhere inside your mind's telling you to hold up a Tesco mini mart, just as possibly some underlying issue that even you're not aware of. There's a great little passage, which hopefully you should see on screen now. Oh yeah, there it is. I'm assuming that part was written for people who work in IT as well. I found it hard to put it down, which really made showering quite tricky. I can't recommend this book highly enough. Even if you don't need to be fixed, I still think it's very well written and worth a read. So now, something a bit different. Inventing the Pyramid. This book is all about football tactics and the history of formations and how the beautiful game was started. This book came out in 2008, just after Steve McLaren managed to guide England to a powerful third place finish in their qualifying group for Euro 2008. Third place? With England losing their final home game 3-2. And in the process, dramatically bringing down the share prices in oversized golf umbrellas everywhere. Now, a bit of a confession, I did actually buy this book about 10 years ago, and every time I started it, I never really got into it. I'll just put it down and put it back on the shelf. So I decided to give it an actual try this time, and it was fairly interesting. It deals with the very start of football origins, from universities in the 1800s, and this book continues through the years, sweeping from country to country, and how each continent would change the rules, change how the game was played, change the formations, and then that adaptation of the game was moved around again until we actually end up with the game that we know and love today. For the avid football fan who wants to expand their knowledge on the origins of the game, I recommend it, it's a good read. But for everyone else, probably just wasted a minute of your life. Anyway, next up is 12 Rules of Life. Now, I bought that after reading the reviews on Amazon, and everyone said how good a book it was, and really, they weren't wrong. As the title suggests, there are 12 rules to live your life by, according to Jordan Peterson. Today I'm going to share with you Rule 2. Treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping. Now, what that means is child, dog, cat, friend, family member who's ill, not feeling well, you'd probably do your utmost to make sure they're feeling better. Take them to the doctors, take them to the vets. Don't get those two mixed up. Don't take a child to the vets. But you would do whatever you could to get them feeling better. Well, I mean, the simple fact is, if it was you that had the issue, you probably wouldn't. You'd think, that's fine. Finger will reattach itself in no time, or something on the lines of, it wasn't that green yesterday, I'm sure it'll be fine in a few days' time. But this book teaches you about self-love and how, really, I guess the golden rule is, if you don't love yourself, how can you expect anyone else to love you? This book has been highly regarded for a number of years, so it only take an idiot to really say anything negative about it. Thankfully, we know just the person. I struggled. Most of the rules start with some kind of biblical story. I found that sort of made the chapters long and boring. I really just wanted to get to the point where you could work out how to apply those particular rules to modern day life. Maybe that's my own personal view on it. Maybe that's just where modern society is now. But with this sort of the biblical references almost in every chapter, it just sort of dragged on a bit, much like this video. But anyway, still worth a read if you're interested. Next up, how to win friends and influence people. Now, this won't give you any kind of Jedi mind tricks. These aren't the droids you're looking for. For me, I think everyone should read this book. If you have to deal with people on a day-to-day basis, and let's be honest, most people have to, this book will flip what you know about how to conduct yourself around others completely on its head. If you want people to get on with you and or work for you, respect you, really just be nice to you, then the idea behind this book mainly is start thinking about what you as an individual can do for the other person, not what they can do for you. There are a few extracts which you should be able to see on the screen now. One on the secrets of success, and another one on criticism. I really can't recommend this book highly enough. In fact, this one I think probably won't go away, and I'll give it another go at some point this year. Right, well done. We've made it to the last one. And this one is, there he is, zero negativity. Now, apparently I'm a grumpy guy. Who? This guy? It was suggested to me to try this book. And when I mean suggested, I mean given to me as a present. I didn't really have a choice. Until I read the book, I had no idea who Aunt Middleton was. I kind of thought he was in relation to Kate Middleton and was just using the Middleton name to make some dollars on some books. I was very wrong. So this guy's an ex-forces person. He deals now with relentless positivity, which does come across well in this book, in the way he tries to introduce his techniques into day-to-day life and tries to sort of bring you along in his journey. I do find, whilst reading it, he seems quite annoying. I'm not sure he's going to lose any sleep if you ever heard me say that, but it sort of just ruined the book a little bit. He seemed a bit sort of too lads. But having said that, since reading this book, I have tried to sprinkle a little bit of positivity in my day-to-day life. Those around me might not even notice any difference. But if anything, that's probably one thing we do need right now in the current circumstances, is a lot more positivity. Now, the self-help books are all well and good, but unless you're willing to sort of keep those habits, it's almost pointless reading them to an extent. So I think that's what I'm going to start to do, is try and find a book about how to keep and maintain habits. And we'll see how many of the things I've picked up from the book just mentioned I can sort of take into this year. And you'll be glad to know that's it for today. If you heard something you liked, give me one of those. If you're reading a book and you want to recommend it, please give me some details, drop it into the comments below. And until next time, stay safe, and I'll speak to you all soon.